Jose Berrios continues to struggle as Matt Chapman remains red hot as the Blue Jays return home. Hey everyone, welcome into another SUN Sports Roundtable. Rob Wong joined alongside by Toronto Sun Sports columnist Steve Simmons and Toronto Sun Blue Jays beat writer Rob Longley. And guys, a successful start to the season for the Blue Jays, going 6-4 on their season opening road trip, but it was not a good start for Jose Berrios, who was having flashbacks to 2022 after his first two outings. Steve, what do you do about the Jays' struggling starter?
You put them on a clock right now, and I don't mean a pitch clock. You put them on a start clock. You can start this many games, and you have to be able to produce at some kind of professional level. And if you can't, they're going to have to Ricky Romero him because that's what he's becoming. And this is a small sample size, but if he can't get through outings without getting blasted, then the Blue Jays can't continue with him in the rotation for very long.
The trouble is, though, the alternatives are few and far between. I agree with you, Steve. You can't. You do have to have some sort of a clock on him. But for now, you have to keep trotting him out there and hope that he can find better command. I mean, we've seen some of the good Jose Berrios when he has movement on his pitches and he's painting the corners. But we've seen a lot of the bad Jose Berrios when he's hanging balls down the middle of the plate and they get destroyed. And pretty soon his confidence is going to go with that, but it's going to expose one of the flaws of this rebuilt team, and that's that they do not have very much starting pitching depth. There's very little in Buffalo. There's very little beyond that. They're hoping maybe Ricky Tiedemann at some point this season, but that's quite a ways away. So you have to keep trotting him out there for a while and hope that he gets better. I mean, at least the front end of the rotation is good, and you got to believe that Chris Bassett is going to be better than he had been in his first start. He certainly showed signs in the second. But, man, you need something out of number 4 and number 5, and you need Jose Berrios to figure it out real quick.
Well, you look at – I go back to Romero because Romero was a great pitcher, and then he just lost his way and he lost his confidence, and they left him out there. And it was almost like they left him out there to dry, and that was it. And they ruined – whatever was left of his career, he partially ruined, they partially ruined.
Meanwhile, Matt Chapman has been the opposite of Berrios, currently playing like an MVP. Rob, there's Vladdy, there's Bo, Manoah, and Gossman, but is Matt Chapman now the most important player on this team?
I think there's a lot of most important players in this team, but in one particular way, he's very important in that this may be all we see of Matt Chapman. He's going to get paid. I mean, he's having already off to a great start for a guy who's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. His agent is Scott Boras, a super agent of the sport, so he's not going to sign a contract extension at any point during the middle of the season. So the Blue Jays and Blue Jays fans best enjoy Matt Chapman while he's here because he's off to a sensational start. Now that offense that he worked so hard on in spring training is matching his elite defense, and he's been quite a treat to watch so far through 10 games.
Yeah, 10 games. I love that number. It's 162 for a whole season. Last year he had 229. The year before he had 210. The year before that he had 232. I know batting average isn't very popular anymore, but he's not hitting 475, for very long. There's going to be a reality, sort of point with Matt Chapman. I love him at third base, and I like him as a ball player. But he's not the most important Blue Jay, and he's not going to have this kind of. He might have a great year. As one, everybody has that one special year in their career, and maybe this is that special year for him. But that special year for him is not going to be hitting 475 and leading, the majors in categories.
Well, of course he's not going to hit 475, but I mean, I watched him on a daily basis at spring training and working through some of the swing changes that he went through this offseason. And his point was he was a better hitter than he was the last two seasons. He felt that he could be much closer to what he was in 2018 and 2019, and that was to be a very productive player, a guy in the order that you could rely on for some production. So no, he's not going to hit 475. He's not going to hit 375. Probably won't even hit 275, but he's going to be a lot more productive than he was last year, and that just adds further depth to the Blue Jays batting order.
Yeah, it makes next year all the more complicated when he's not here anymore.
Correct.
Yeah, a lot of different things working here for the Blue Jays, and Matt Chapman off to an incredible start. As always, let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. For Steve Simmons and Rob Longley, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next week on another SUN Sports Roundtable.